Hi, I'm Gerald Oginski. Thanks for joining me. Come on in. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. And in today's video, I want to tell you about an article that I just read in Newsday titled, "Sepsis May Have a Lasting Impact on the Elderly." You see, sepsis is a system-wide infection that can occur from a number of different sources. And importantly, if it's not detected and treated and aggressively treated, the patient can die. Sepsis often occurs during the course of surgery where a surgeon has failed to timely recognize that a bowel injury has occurred. Now, why would that cause sepsis? Well, when you make a hole in the bowel, in the intestines, what happens is the feces, the fecal content, leaks out of the intestines. And where does it go? It goes into the peritoneal cavity, which is your belly. And it's not supposed to be there. And it causes a condition known as peritonitis, which means an inflammation of the peritoneal cavity. Now, in addition to that, that often will form a localized infection, and many times that infection will spread throughout the body, and that's known as sepsis. It's an overwhelming, aggressive type of infection. Of those patients who develop sepsis, who go on to live, that they are left with three types of problems following that condition. They have long-term physical or cognitive problems, they have some type of persistent disability, and of a forgetfulness that often occurs. What's interesting is that the researchers did not know specifically why that occurs, but those were the findings that they evaluated after looking at 4,517 elderly people who experienced hospitalizations with sepsis. The article points out something very important. It says unless antibiotics and life support are delivered quickly, the condition can lead to organ failure and death. And that's typically when I get a call from a spouse or family member who says, you know what, my husband or wife just died, they had surgery recently, and now they're dead. Can you help us? Well, many times we'll go ahead and start to investigate a case like that, and especially if there's been an autopsy where they've been examined by a pathologist to evaluate why the person died. Many times we find that within the autopsy are indications showing that there was a hole or a perforation in the bowel that was never recognized and treated, and that there were signs and symptoms that the patient had that should have warranted further investigation by the physician in order to try and rule out and limit any further spread of infection and complications. And that's it for today's video tip about sepsis, why it's so important to aggressively recognize it and treat it. I'm Gerald Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.